Makes this program different is that we try to work with the participants. We respect who they are. We treat them like human beings, and we encourage them to be part of a community, their own community, and we participate in that community ourselves. So we give people a chance to belong to something and to grow within that community. And when people come out of prison, they are virtually shut down in terms of belonging or having resources or assistance. And we act as a surrogate, in a sense, for the outside community when they're coming out of prison. This program is different because it's much more intensive than most programs. In other words, we see these offenders, who, by the way, are what are described as serious and violent offenders. They've come out of prison. They're high-risk offenders, and we see them on a weekly basis. Our case managers are in touch with them on a daily basis. They're in touch with their parole officer. They have a lot of contact with this court, but probably the most important thing is that on a weekly basis they meet in court as a group, and no one leaves until the court session is over, which generally only takes about an hour. But they're expected to stay unless they have a job, training, or a work situation or educational situation that they need to leave for. So these folks have a chance to grow together as a group, as a community, and they actually assist one another. It's also very interesting to watch these folks receive awards and to get their pictures up on the bulletin board, because they have real pride in their accomplishments, whether it's becoming a member of the honor roll, or it's completing 40 hours of community service, or it's graduation from the program. Folks seem to really respond, as I think humans do generally, to the idea that they are recognized and appreciated for their effort. In August, we had our first barbecue, and you may have heard some of the folks talking about that. And it was really a joyous activity, and it really brought people together, because there were probably as many kids as there were adults at that barbecue, and folks really became very involved in it. We have an honor roll that actually was responsible for putting on this event and organizing the event, and we're very proud of the work that they did in doing that. And what came out of that is, I think, a much closer knit community. The case managers are critical, and you know, it's said that you have to have the right structure, you have to have the right procedures, and the rest. All that is very important, but having the right people running the program and as part of the program, people that really care about the people they work with, is absolutely critical. And we have some just marvelous people. We're also developing something that I'm very excited about, and that's a mentoring program. A number of our people who are graduating or who are on our honor roll really want to assist folks who are just starting in getting through the program and getting over the hump that exists at the very beginning of the program, because our experience is that people have, if they're going to have a problem, it typically is within the first 4 to 6 weeks that it's really going to manifest itself. If they can get through that, they have a very good chance of succeeding in the program. One of the things that is very unique about this population is their neediness, if that's a word. They really have a sense of vulnerability that you wouldn't expect. You think of them as being mean, tough, hardened criminals, and that's not what I see. And I don't think it's because I'm blinded by the light. I think it's because they are tough, many of them, but they're tough because they have to be. And when you give them an opportunity to actually be part of a community, to achieve something, to be successful, and if you give them a path or an opportunity to create their own path, it's quite remarkable what you can see, the change you can see, and the softening you can see in terms of how they look at their lives and how they approach the program itself. Some of the folks that you would never think would succeed in this program are the ones that do. And that's not that different from other programs in many ways. but I've had really the pleasure of seeing people open their eyes and decide that they could make it, and they can make it in the community because they can make it in this court. And we are, and I used this phrase before, we're a surrogate. We're not real community, but in a sense, we're like the veterinarian or other individual who picks up a damaged bird and who can't fly. And we give them a place where they can be safe and they can learn skills and they can develop the ability to fly on their own and to be a part of the community. And that's our goal, and ultimately we'll be judged on how well we're able to do that. In terms of success in the program, we have a limited amount of information because the program just began last September, so it's been in existence something over a year. But the key data we have is from the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, CDCR, and they have shown us data from San Francisco which shows that 71.7% of people who are on parole in San Francisco return to prison during the 9 months that we have been in existence. And that was from December through August of 2011. And our folks have a return rate of 12%. So we are literally doing 6 times as well, or have an 83% reduction in recidivism, folks going back to prison in our program. I think that speaks for itself.